Things are looking pretty bleak for members of the Democratic Party. More than 1 of 3 Democrats have a pretty negative perspective on their own party in 2025. These are some of the characterizations that left-leaning voters use to describe their party: weak, broken, ineffective, dishonest, corrupt, out of touch. Pretty harsh. And take it from CNN's Harry Enten, who could not help but praise President Trump.
I can't think of a more influential president during this century, and it starts here with tariffs. He said he was going to raise tariffs, and despite the claims otherwise, he is in fact doing that. Trump, at least in my mind, is the most influential president, certainly this century, and probably dating a good back chunk into the 20th century as well. Executive orders, immigration with net migration, and we're talking about tariffs and the effective tariff rate. Donald Trump is remaking the United States. Love it, like it, or lump it. He has been tremendously influential to a historic degree.
And he did not stop there, saying that the Democratic brand is in the gutter.
At this particular point, the Democratic brand is in the basement. It is total and complete garbage in the mind of the American public. The Democratic Party's net favorable rating, record lows in all 3. Wall Street Journal, 30 points underwater. CNN, 26 points underwater. Gallup, 26 points underwater. And that is being driven in large part by discontent within the Democratic base. The Democratic base wants something different.
He's exceedingly entertaining. He's really fun to watch, and it's fun to see some of the back and forth, too, that he gets from some of the anchors over there. What do you make of those numbers that he's laying out there?
Numbers are terrific. I've seen similar numbers. I know he's on the right track. It is interesting, going back 4 years, 8 years, even 10 or 12 years, Trump has remade the political map on immigration, very important, on tariffs, protecting American jobs, most underrated issue. We could talk more about that if you want, but a lot of people see tariffs as protecting jobs, immigrants, illegals taking their jobs away. And the last point, which Enten didn't mention, is the whole issue of woke. Woke and DEI and trans, men playing in women's basketball. These were such big issues in their election last year, and they're staying. Trump's remaining on the warpath, and that's one of the reasons he's doing great. Democrats don't know how to respond to it. They just don't know how to respond to it. And now Sydney Sweeney comes along, and that makes it even worse.
That's your favorite topic today.
Keep bringing it up.
Just saying.
Kennedy, your thoughts on this? Because he's been very entertaining when he lays out these numbers, and here we are heading into the midterms, and the Democrats are going to have to work to figure something out.
Yeah, it's like throwing water on a gremlin. I knew you would get that. Yes. So he says, this is the most transformative president in this century. And you can just see the people on the CNN panel like, no! It's acid to their ears. They're like, it burns, make it go away. And they can't. That's the problem. Because all they've been running against is Trump is a fascist. Trump is literally Hitler. And it's like, show me some ideas. That's all voters are asking for, and they absolutely can't because they're still enmeshed in this civil war. And every time they think they've broken away from the progressives, along comes someone like Zohran Mamdani and takes the party back to the leftist gutter. And it is the worst place to be, and they will never be able to govern mainstream from there because there are too many voters in this country who've been subjected to socialism and the ills of it from either where they came from or their parents or grandparents, and they know how bad it can be. Yeah. Younger voters have yet to realize that. Hopefully they stay home.
Some of the most brutal part of that was the list that Democrats, how they feel about their own party. Corrupt, dishonest. I mean, that is brutal. And that is so often what they claim about Republicans.
Right, and I thought apathetic was also quite telling because remember in the primaries in Iowa when 80+% of those voting for Donald Trump said he fights for people like me. It's the distinct difference where in the Democrat Party you are included as long as you check a box, and if you dare to think creatively or differently, you are discarded, you are excommunicated. There are those that scoff at these polls and say, well, I don't listen to polls, but trends matter. And again, in every minority group, in every coveted voting class for the most part, it rose double digits for President Trump, voting for him or trending in that direction. So the Democrat Party has an exodus on their hands. And the fact that they continue to ignore it, save Enten and Carville, who is also saying the same things, if they continue playing this tired rule of the shock at this, and what are you talking about, continuing to ostrich their head in the sand about it, well, then they too will be shocked at midterms and every presidential election.
Yeah, I mean, Emily's point is basically the kind of a brutal baseline where we are, where the Democratic Party is.
Absolutely, it's an opportunity for Republicans, and I always have liked where President Trump is on clarity when it comes to this one issue. He has friends everywhere. He makes sure that he's connected to everybody. It has always been that way, even before he was president. For people who had interviewed him, they would say, oh, my gosh, you know, he could run for president, Oprah, all those years ago. He could. And the reason was because he really understood that you kind of need to know a little bit about everybody. And so Republicans right now having some kind of way to come together, and you're seeing it a little bit on the Hill with certain issues, with moderate Democrats, is kind of important because it really puts Democrats in such a bind. It'll be easier to beat them no matter when they run because they are so divided. And if you have any kind of relationship with the people who want to have a relationship with you back as moderates, but we have to see, are they going to lean toward the Mamdanis and the Fatahs, the Midwest Mamdani in Minneapolis just to win, and then hope that they can get their party away from the hands of the far-left communists? Like, are they going to fall for that?
No, that's what's happened here, and Democrat leadership doesn't seem to understand it, because they pulled so far to the left for all the reasons that you all are talking about, because Trump is ringing the bell on immigration and China and cultural issues that really affect people. Trump is now the centrist.
That's right.
He occupies the whole center, a little bit of left of center, more right of center.
And
but he's where, for example, 30 years ago, he's where Bill Clinton was, okay? When and Democrats are too stupid right now to go in and do what Bill Clinton did. So Trump has just occupied that, and they can't get it. They can't get there. They're too stupid. No, they're too dumb to do it.
Regain that middle ground, but there will be more.
It's a wonderful place to be. The entire center is Donald Trump. Sorry.
More Outnumbered next.
Just saying.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.